Here we start off with the triangle sum theorem. We've been told that we got this angle 39 over here. We got this right angle, so I can use the triangle sum theorem. Add 90, 39 plus whatever I want to call this angle. Looks like I called it angle A. That would have to equal 180 degrees. So I take 180, I subtract 39, I subtract the 90, and I get this angle right here is 51. But of course, that's not what I was asked to solve for. I was asked to solve for x, which is way over here. So knowing that this is a straight line, I could just take the 51 and the 50. That's 101. I know that they're supplementary, so these two plus whatever this is would have to equal 180. So 180 minus 101 will give me 79. That means that this angle right here is 79. And now that I have these two angles, 56 and the 79, I can use the triangle sum theorem again. X plus 56 plus 79 equals 180. So I take the 180, subtract out the 56 and the 79, and I get 45. Learning target 8 is using the exterior angle theorem. Well, the exterior angle theorem says that the exterior angle, in this case 4x plus 8, is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. That would be these two right here. And so I'm going to take the 4x plus 8. That's equal to 51 plus 2x plus 3. I just combined some like terms. Now I got 54 plus 2x. I subtract the 2x from both sides. I subtract the 8 from both sides. And that leaves me with 2x equals 46. Divide by 2 and I get x equals 23. All right, proving the triangle sum theorem. I forgot to put a given here, but the given here is just we've got triangle ABC. And we want to prove that we add up the three angles of that triangle and it equals 180. Well, the first thing you need to do is create DE, this line up here that I kind of drew for you, that's parallel to AB. Because these are parallel, 5 and 3 are alternate interior angles that are congruent, and also 4 and 2 are alternate interior angles that are congruent. Well, so the thing is, these three angles up here add up to 180 degrees. Why? Well, because it makes a straight line. And so by the linear pair postulate, these three together equal 180. However, I do know right here that angle 4 is the same as angle 2. So I can just take 2 and replace the 4 with it. Same with this 5. If 5 is congruent to 3, I can replace the 5 with the 3. And what I wind up with is what I want. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 180. All right, constructions. Here it says use a compass and straight edge to construct a line parallel to line A that goes through point B. Well, this was kind of our example of the corresponding angle postulate. I draw a line through my point to my original line, and then I use my compass to just make an arc here and then another arc here. And then I measure this distance right here using my compass, and then I draw that off over here and make an arc here. That makes a congruent angle. This angle and this angle are congruent. Draw my line through the point and this new intersection. I got my parallel line. Okay, so the other option here is perpendicular line. So I'd make sure that I knew how to do that. Make sure you're looking up on the website how to do that if you have forgotten. All right, parallel lines. We want parallel to negative 1/2 x plus 3. That means my slope is going to be the same, negative 1/2. And then I plug in 3, 3. Well, if I plug in 3 for y and 3 for x, 3 times negative 1/2 is negative 3/2, which means I'm adding 3/2 or 1.5 to both sides. 3 plus 1.5 is 4.5. So I plug that back in for b, and now I've got y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4.5. For part B, I want a perpendicular equation. So if I'm starting out with 2, the negative inverse of 2 is negative 1/2. So negative 1/2 x plus b. Well, I'm going to plug in 6 for x, 2 for y. And when I do that, negative 1/2 times 6 is negative 3. So I add 3 to both sides. 2 plus 3 is 5. And there's my y-intercept. So y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. All right, learning target 12. You want to know whether these are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, I know the slope of this one, it's 2. So if the slope of this one is 2, it's parallel. If it's negative 1/2, then it's going to be perpendicular. Well, I subtract x from both sides. Now I've got 2y equals negative x plus 8. I divide both sides by 2, and sure enough, I get negative 1/2 x plus 4. Not that that 4 matters. All I really want to know is the slope. And the slope is negative 1/2, which is the negative reciprocal of 2. So I know they're perpendicular. All right, over here, you needed to draw a graph and plot the progress of Cade and Kennedy in their 7-hour bike race. And then ultimately, the question is, who wins in a 4-hour bike race? Well, again, you got to be able to kind of write some equations here. The equation for Kennedy would just be y equals 25x. This is the rate. She has no y-intercept, but Cade has a y-intercept. He gets a 30-kilometer head start, so it's y equals 20x plus 30. So when I graph those, Kennedy is here, starting at 0, up 25 over 1, and so after 7 hours, she'd be ahead. And then Cade, he gets the 30-kilometer head start. He's going at 20 miles or 20 kilometers an hour, so up 20 over 1. After 7 hours, he loses. But right here at 4 hours, you can see that Cade is still ahead by just a little bit. In fact, it was 10 kilometers. So Cade is winning after 4 hours. All right, that's it. Hope you feel prepared for your exam on Monday.